Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, pleased to be joined by Joel Przgodski, the head football coach at Adrian High School. Joel, it is officially Tecumseh week. First off, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Always happy to talk Adrian football.
All right, so let's before we get to that week, before we get to this week's game, let's talk about the start to the season so far. I mean, what a start you guys have been on. Getting a big win against Pioneer, getting a big win, going all the way down to Three Rivers, and then getting a big win last week against Ipsy.
Yeah, it's been a good start. Anytime you can start 3-0, we'll take it. We're not going to complain about that. So the old adage, "You are what your record says you are," and it's like, okay, we're 3-0. We have a lot to work on. Don't get me wrong. We're far from perfect, but we are improving each and every week. We just got to get a couple small things tightened up here as we kind of get going to this next big 3 weeks for us.
Yeah, I know the season is kind of split into thirds, but the second three games you got will probably be where see a good test to see where this team's at, because of course you got Tecumseh this week, Chelsea, and then Jackson. What's it going to be like, really? What do you really want to see out of this group of guys heading into these next 3 weeks?
I just want to see them continue to work hard and improve. Guys are getting better each and every day in practice, and they're competing, they're getting after it, and they're having fun doing it. I mean, it's a close knit group. They're fun to be around. They're fun to coach. At the end of the day, we just want to keep seeing them compete and hopefully find ways to win games, which we've been fortunate enough to do the last 3 games.
Yeah. Also best start that I know this team hasn't started this good in a very long time. In fact, first time since 2010 that Adrian is 3-0. Just kind of talk about what it was like, really, to just turn around this team, because everyone loves it. Everyone loves a challenge, and of course, what was that like? Coming in here and really just seeing all the hard work pay off.
Well, it's funny. We've talked about this a lot, my wife and I, and just really friends of the program. I mean, Adrian has good kids. I mean, they're fun to be around. They work hard. Once you build relationships with them, they'll run through a wall for you. And I don't know if that was kind of what was occurring before I came back to coach football at Adrian. I'm not sure. I wasn't part of that staff, so I don't really know. But we got a lot of kids back out to rejoin the program, and they've worked hard all off season. It's rewarding to see their hard work pay off in terms of on field success.
Yeah. So kind of talk about some of the guys that have really kind of stood out for this team.
So far, Sean Parker's had a phenomenal start. Our quarterback, he's, getting rid of the football, getting it to our playmakers. And it always helps when you have five senior offensive linemen blocking for him. He gets knocked around a little bit because we do sling the ball quite often, but, by and large, our offensive line gives him plenty of time to throw. Thomas Dayharsh has had, I believe, 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games, wide receiver / tight end for us. He's been a headache for teams defensively. He's a matchup problem because he's big and he's faster than you think. He's deceptively quick. Yeah, I don't think he'll blow you away if he was to run a 40-yard dash with a timer at all. But if you put him on the field, he does run away from people. So kind of like having him on the outside and moving him inside as well. And Isaiah Fox has really stepped up for us offensively as well at wide receiver. He didn't play a whole lot last year, with the exception of special teams. Returned the opening kickoff of the season against Pioneer for a touchdown. Had another, I think, 2 big receptions against Three Rivers. He's, again, kind of a sneaky kid. He's pretty quick. He was the regional champ in the high hurdles this past spring. So another fast, lanky kid on the outside who can definitely stretch the field for our offense.
Yeah. Okay, so I know a lot of people have talked about this week since last game with this. What is this rivalry? What is this rivalry like for people that might not know what this is like?
Yeah, it's like any crosstown rivalry. You got except they're 2 different communities that are only separated by, I think, like 5 miles, if that. They're pretty close. They're very competitive when the 2 schools face each other, regardless of sport, regardless of records. It's kind of a love-hate relationship with each other. There's a lot of respect, but at the same time, the 2 schools, they really want to just, thrash each other when they do face each other. So, it was a kind of bittersweet last year. I know we played really well, and, they they were able to pull away from us late, and they had a phenomenal season. But our kids have been looking forward to this for 365 days. So we got a few more days. We got to wait till we get after them a little bit, but we'll be ready. I know Coach Dawson will have his guys ready too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a game, and I know a lot of people that might not follow Lenawee County football. This is a big game as well. So what's it going to be like just to go into this thing, and what do you feel like you have to do to come out with the win?
Well, I mean, we got to match their intensity. I mean, their offense is a handful. Coach Romano does a fantastic job putting together a game plan, and he plays at such a tempo that it's an issue for us. It was last year, and they just play fast, and so we got to be really sound with any of our checks, our formation recognition, and just getting aligned before we can even play the snap is problem number one for us. And our kids will be up to the challenge. And I know Coach Lopez will have a good game plan put together for him. But just match their intensity and, play with emotion, but don't let our emotions get the best of us, because it is going to be an emotional game. It always is with when you play your rivals, especially at Maple Stadium, where the crowd is right on top of you, so it's a nice home field advantage for us. And, just got to play with poise and, hopefully score at least one more point than they do.
Yeah. This division, these next few weeks, as I said earlier, are going to be a big test for this team. What have you told the kids about these next few games, that's how to handle, battling adversity, the tough situations that's going to happen when you play teams like that?
Sure. It's funny. We don't really talk very much, honestly, about, the next couple of weeks. We just kind of focus on what we're doing that day and who that next opponent is. And, we just focus on trying to get to, that next opponent. So 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Okay, let's just try to be 4-0. You don't get a second opportunity to do it. So let's just make the most of this opportunity and get after it. So our sole focus is on Tecumseh, and, regardless of the outcome, we'll kind of put it back in the memory, and we'll focus on Chelsea the very next week and just worry about them. Jackson's not even on our radar right now, even though that they are that third opponent. So it's a brutal 3-game stretch for us, but we're just focused on Tecumseh High School right now.
Yeah. All right. Joel Przgodski, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck against Tecumseh this week.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.